Today, I want to explain a few AI concepts, starting with a simple question. What actually is an AI model? A model is basically a piece of software trained on huge amounts of data so it can predict the next token, which is just a fancy way of saying it generates the next part of the response, one step at a time, based on what you've asked. And when people say, I'm talking to a chatbot, they often assume there's one single brain on the other end. In reality, a product can use many different models for different moments. One model might handle quick conversation, another might handle complex planning, and another might be better at long inputs or structured outputs. That's because models come with strengths and weaknesses, and you get better results when you match the tool to the task. Speed is how quickly you get a useful response, which matters most for natural back and forth like customer service or quick clarifications or riffing on ideas. Capability is how well a model handles complex reasoning and instructions, and more parameters often helps, but usually increases cost and can be slower. Context length is how much information it can keep in mind at once, which improves consistency on bigger jobs, but also costs more and can reduce speed. Okay, if that was all a bit much, let's think of it in terms of cars. Instead of thinking of these as three separate sliders, speed, context, and capability, I like to think in terms of model types, because in practice, you're picking a bundle of trade-offs between the three of them. Claude Haiku, for example, which is what we use for our chatbot, is the sports car. It's built for speed. It makes chat feel instant and natural, but it's not what I want doing the hardest reasoning, and it's not the best choice when the job needs a lot of context. Claude Sonnet is the hatchback, the everyday hatchback. It's the best all-rounder, reasonably quick, reasonably capable, and with enough context to handle the most normal workflows. If I needed one model to do most things, this is usually the shape of it, and is a good place to start before optimizing. Claude Opus is the heavy-duty truck. It's slower and costs more fuel, but it can haul the hard stuff. That's higher capability and a bigger context window, which matters when you're doing multi-step work, keeping lots of constraints in mind and staying consistent across a large amount of information. Why am I explaining this? Well, it's a core concept of how our editing app, Nice Touch, works. For the chatbot, I switched to Claude Haiku. The chatbot needs to feel instant. It's lots of short back and forth, quick questions, quick answers, keeping you in the flow. For the edit agents, however, I switched to Claude Opus. Those tasks are much heavier. They need better reasoning and they benefit from handling more context without getting confused. I'm talking long transcripts and lots of media at once.
You have to pick the right model for the right job.
That's right.